Me, and Lassie Hallstrom's The 100-Foot Journey. And Shavani Gupta, on my right, she played, if you remember, you will remember, the spunky blind woman in Margarita with a Straw, co-starring Kalki Koechlin. And she now has roles in highly anticipated films, including Manish Sharma's Fan, which has, of course, Shah Rukh Khan, Anurag Basu's Jaga Jasoos with Ranbir Kapoor and Katrina Kaif, and Bar Bar Dekho by Nitya Mehra with hottie Siddharth Malhotra and Katrina Kaif. Another round of applause for all of them. I'd like to start off, I don't know if you want me to very briefly describe in just a line some of the very key roles for all of those in the audience who haven't seen all of the films. Margarita with a Straw is about the very lively empowerment of a woman with cerebral palsy, played by Kalki Koechlin, and Shavani plays her friend and her lover. Vicky Kaushal, which was in Masan, it's really about small town India breaking free somehow out of the constraints of tradition, and he and Shweta, of course, play a love story between a lower caste boy and an upper caste woman. And Shashank in Titli has such a brutal role, it's very hard to describe it, about a very low middle class family in Delhi, which really has a criminal career and is very brutalizing both physically and emotionally. Can I start with a round robin question asking, all of you have selected very risky and unconventional roles at a very early stage in your career, some of you in your first roles. What made you take these risks and what has been the payoff so far?
Well, thank you. It's lovely being here. Thank you, Meenakshi. First of all, I'd like to say I don't have this voice generally. But it suits the motion of the day, so I guess. When we are starting out, I mean, I went to film school in Pune, FTII, and honestly, when I was in film school, I thought I'll come to Bombay, obviously, but nobody's going to really give me work as an actor, so I'll have to assist, and be a assistant to directors and, work as an AD. But I got my first film in the first month of being in Bombay, so I guess there are enough people making films. But coming back to your question, when you're starting out, you don't really have a lot of choice. There are not people standing at every nook and corner wanting to give you parts that you like. As an actress, there's anyway a dearth of good parts being written, which again, sort of limits your options. When I was told about Margarita with a Straw, and the first time I got narration, I fell off my chair because I hadn't imagined somebody in the country would like to, write and see and make a film like this about two disabled women who fall in love with each other. I mean, you must be on crack. But again, the moment I heard about the script, and I remember speaking to Shweta around that time, and it was such a brilliant part. That I had to get the part, and they auditioned me for a month. They made me do the whole script over and over again till they were very, very sure. And a lot of other actresses who were established in the country were offered the part. Every dusky actress in the country and in India and Pakistan had auditioned for the part. I thanked every single person who said no to the part. Because, for both Kalki and me, there were author-back roles, and I'm sure that, it's not every day that you come across such well-written parts to play. And I was told that your career is not really going to take off after this film because, your first big film, you're playing a lesbian who's blind. But I was like, it's exciting, and I get to romance a really hot woman. So I think it's full paisa vasool for me. Yeah, unconventional is nice. Yeah, it's I'm not really interested in doing in just being a flower pot in a frame with another hero. So I guess. Sorry, I'm taking too long. So I guess, yeah, that's what appealed to me in that film. And And I kept saying that maybe people won't cast me and would typecast, this everybody sort of asks you, do you fear getting typecast? I feel it's the choices in your hand and how you choose your films. And right now, as you say, I am doing some full-on commercial films. So I think it didn't really affect my, it's probably too early to say, but after Margarita, nothing's really, it's not changed so much, yeah.
I think it's a good sign that the industry is open and not typecasting. Vicky, would you like to share?
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you, Vicky Frames. Thank you, Meenakshi, for having us here. I would kind of second what Shayoni just said. It wasn't that we selected these films, or I selected Masaan, and I had like 10 other films, and I was like, no, Masaan is the film that I want to do. It wasn't that way because similarly, like my journey started in 2009. I was a graduate in electronics and telecommunications engineer. I wanted to be an actor, and the first thing I did was I assisted Anurag Kashyap on Gangs of Wasipur, and after that I started doing theater and everything. You start giving auditions, and you're just on the lookout for that window of opportunity that you want to showcase your talent. And Masaan just happened because I remember me and Neeraj were going to Pune in the same car, and he just showed me like a 5-minute trailer promo of Masaan that he had made, and he had Rajkumar Rao that time in his head for that part. And I looked at it and I was like, damn interesting, very good, way to go, buddy, and all of that. And three days later, I get a call from Mukesh Chavda, casting director, and he says, I want to test you for a part in this film. And I was like, okay. And I go there and he says it's for the lead. And I was like, oh, it was him. And he's like, no, there are date problems and everything. And I was like, okay, cool. And I give the audition, I do 2 scenes from the film, and I get selected in a week's time. And this was 1 month before Masaan started. So it just happened very organically, and I feel really blessed that it happened. And none of us who were part of Masaan really imagined what all happened with the film after that, and what all happened with everyone involved in the film. Neeraj kind of created a sort of history yesterday by winning the National Award for Best Debutant Director. So he's kind of the only director that I know who's won at Cannes, who's won the Filmfare, who's won the National Award for the same film, which is incredible. Check. So I think we just had a good script, thanks to Varun and Neeraj, and we just went with full honesty and conviction about making the film, and yeah, just truly feel blessed about how things have turned around for us.
Thank you, Vicky, for having us here. It's my first Vicky. I'm excited. Thank you, Meenakshi. I don't know, this is something I can't articulate very well. Like Shawni said, I didn't choose. I really needed a job when Titli came. So I didn't choose. Yeah, I didn't really choose Titli. Titli chose me. I'm very blessed that I attracted the sort of artists and the filmmakers that I wanted to work with. And on unconventional films, I particularly don't really differentiate between conventional and unconventional, as long as the story is something that interests me or gauges me, and the artist is making a film because he wants to make a film rather than earning lots of money, which is also the end game. We all want to earn through our craft, and we want to earn through our work. But as long as the starting point of something is the intention is pure, or the intention is just to tell a story, I'm attracted to it. And I've been blessed that I've just attracted these sort of filmmakers, and I'm so happy that this year and last year we have such amazing films, we have such amazing artists. I'm sitting with some of them, so excited. It's just a blessing to be a part of this.
So I'm not going to repeat what they said because we already know that. But it took me 9 years to get my first release, which is Masaan. I've been in Bombay for that long. And like all of them said, it's a kind of cinema you want to do which attracts you, and it's a circle. So when Neeraj narrated Masaan to me, I just fell in love with my character and the script. So there wasn't a choice of doing it or not doing it. I mean, and Neeraj, he was very sweet, so he said, would you like to do it? And that time, I didn't have any release. My other film, Haram Khor, which I had already shot for, but which still has not been released. I just knew that I have to do this because, not because it's bold or risky or any of those adjectives, just because it was a good story. It was a story that I wanted to be a part of. So, I think that if you, like, I've always wanted to travel with the festivals. I want that when people talk about my films, it's not just about my work, it should be the film as a product. So I think it's a subconscious thing that we're attracted to those kind of scripts, and thankfully those kinds of scripts are being written now. And like Shayoni said, there are hardly any female characters, you know. In fact, so Vicky's next film with Anurag Kashyap, Raman Raghav. So when I got to know about the plot and everything, my first reaction was, why is no one writing a film like this for women? Because I would kill to do that, you know. And there are scripts which...
If you kill, you'll definitely get a role.
Well, then maybe. So yeah, I mean, I think more than risky, it's we like to be choosy, because I think all of us over here would like to believe in quality cinema more than anything.
I heard you were at a party with Neeraj, singing old Bollywood songs, and that's how you hung out and eventually got the role. Is that true?
So it was the short film that you really like, Sujata.
Okay.
That was a part of a feature film called Shots. So Neeraj's film, Sujata was the first short film of the entire film, and Neeraj's film was the last one. So, and I remember I was wearing a sari that day, and Neeraj, he's a fabulous dancer. So he was dancing and I was dancing, and both are the so-called indie people, you know. And then thankfully I did Sujata, and thankfully that party happened, and thankfully I danced. So then I became Neeraj's Shalu.
Now you know what you gotta do. I'd like to ask another quick round-robin question about what was the way that you prepared for the role? I mean, in your case, it's like a really challenging. A woman, blind, Bangladeshi, and lesbian. It's like a quadruple challenges, I would say. How did you prepare, and what to you was the most difficult scene in the film?